BizChicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today is Happy Healthy Habits with Robin Shimizu and friends. Robin's going to be coming to us to introduce her guest this morning. But before she does, I want to give a shout out to our producer, my partner, Miss Francine Gregory, real estate entrepreneur and tech diva. And I'm Terralina from California Cover Ups, and we're the Biz Chicks. So sit back and relax and find out about healthy, happy ways to get your mind together to do business better. Here we are with Robin Shimizu and friends. Welcome. Hi, Robin.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody who's watching this on replay. Wanted to welcome our guest today, Linda Lee, who is let me just go through her background and her training because it's a long list of credentials that she has, and then I'm going to have her tell us a little bit more about herself. We haven't had Linda on the show for a couple of months, so it's time that we've had her and to hear what she has to offer for us and our keeping our mind very healthy. So Linda she's a graduate from the California Institute of Healing Arts and Sciences, and she has over 35 years as a holistic health expert, trained in holistic and alternative health. She is certified in behavior therapy, life coaching, holistic health, and specializes in clinical hypnotherapy. She has a bachelor's in nutrition from the American College of Naturopathy. I don't know how to say that, Linda. And certified as a dietary consultant. So as always, we have these wonderful guests. Linda, can you just introduce yourself? Give us a little bit about who you are, your story, and then what you're going to share with us today about keeping our mind healthy.
Thank you so much, Robin and Terry and Francine in the background. Yes, I do have more than 35 years experience in the holistic field, and it has evolved over the years and into the place where I am now working with the power of the mind. And the reason being is these are things we need to know when we are in school, when we are in elementary school. We should learn about how our mind works so that we can create in our life everything, whether it's good business. So many of us have blocks around our own business because we were downloaded and programmed at an early age about what that's supposed to look like. And until you break through those old patterns, you could be stuck somewhere in your business, or you could be stuck in your health. And I'm going to go down some really important talking points. And I hope we're going to get a really good discussion going today with the girls. And so just understand how powerful you are to heal, to create, and to be the best human being that you can be. What else is there to do on this planet but learn and be the best that you can be? It doesn't mean we're perfect. It means we are doing our best at all times. And that's where the rewards are. So on a prior, it was a few months back, I did a live stream with you girls and everyone here about the model of the mind. And just briefly, the model of the mind, simply, there's a lot of them. However, basically, our conscious mind is only a very small percent, believe it or not, of our mental potential. It does not mean that it's not powerful. It means that it's just a small percentage. So the conscious mind says, I want to change something, or I want to do something. So if we give a generous 5% to our conscious mind, that means basically 95% is all subconscious mind. Everything that happens in the background that we don't have to think about usually. And it's usually, for most of us, a reactive place as opposed to a responsive place because of our downloads and programming from 0 to 8 years old. So that's just a synopsis of what we did in a prior show. So hopefully there's a way to access that. So I wanted to get into some other things because it's important for you to know if you are a businesswoman or male, even if the males are out there watching, and or you've got health issues that you just don't know why, because the conscious mind can only think one thought at a time. So it says, hey, I want to change something, whatever that is for you. But the subconscious says, I don't think so. I've been told it's hard, it's difficult. You have to jump through all these hoops to do it. And oh my gosh, in the end, it's just too much work. And, or I just don't know how. So the power line is that you have all the answers already within you. It's just that you haven't known how to tap into it. So I'm going to go down some talking points. So if you girls want to join in and join the conversation, feel free. So the average human brain has about 100 billion neurons or nerve cells. And we actually have the ability to build new neural pathways. That's amazing. That's miraculous. We are miraculous beings. So what does it take to build a new neural pathway? We'll get there. The mind.
Hold on.
I knew you were going to come out.
Okay. What is a neural pathway?
Those are the neurons. Yeah.
I think of it this way. Let me put it this way. I think of it this way, Linda. Let me put myself up here.
Yes, let me see you.
I'm going to go this way. Hold on. Okay. I think of a neural pathway as a highway where messages travel back and forth, sort of like the internet.
Absolutely.
It's like a web up here in our brains that allow things to go back and forth, signals to tell my arm to raise, to tell my eyes to blink, to tell my mouth to water. Is that correct?
You are correct. And a lot of that's at the subconscious level. Those are the automatic things that happen that we don't have to think about.
Okay, so here's my question. You said I could create new ones.
Yes, absolutely.
So when those ones wear out, sort of like roadways, I can build a new road?
You sure can. Okay, absolutely. Cool.
I just want to make sure that, because I wanted it to be in a way that we could digest it.
Yes.
Because you're using a lot of technical terms. I just want to make sure.
I'm going to keep it as simple as possible. And you are absolutely right. So neural pathways, especially the ones where we're in a reaction mode, which most of us are, because we've learned how to react to certain stimulus in a certain way. So it's like those old dirt roads, you've been on them where they're really deeply grooved, and you can see a lot of vehicles have been on them, but they're not like a super highway. They're deeply grooved. Those are old ways of thinking and behaving and reacting. Mm-hmm. And the way you build new ones is you stop those thoughts that are coming up that would normally be a reaction to, like, anger. Anger affects our liver. And I will tell you, with the testing I do and the things I work with, the liver is 9.9% of every human being that I've ever worked with. It's our biggest organ for detoxification. And not only detoxification of the body, but the mind. We filter everything through our emotions, and we hold so much anger individually and collectively. So what we want to do is smooth those out. So if you have, say for instance, there's something that makes you angry every time, like your husband, for instance, whether you have a husband or not, it doesn't matter. But the example is somebody does something that really just always, it just always irks you. And you go, oh, and I don't know how to get out of that. So what you go, okay, you got to take a breath, and it's called discernment. And you go, okay, stop those thoughts. Is it really worth me getting my body all in a tizzy over that person's whatever they're doing that's making you angry? And then you go, okay, I'm going to think in a new way. That's kind of where positive affirmations come in. I happen to use white light to heal, and then I do the positive affirmation. So it's like stop the thought, white light it, and then think the way you really think. I am at peace and calm now. Nothing can bother me. I can move through this easily and effortlessly. Does that help?
Mm-hmm. I just wanted to make sure that I understood that, we can build new pathways.
Yes.
So it's like putting up additional highways.
Yes.
And now you're telling me that now I have the ability to redirect.
Heal and create the new way of thinking, which is the neural pathway. Another way you can create neural pathways is a lot of us network, right? Mm-hmm. We network. So we get out in the world and we're meeting people and we're, having experiences. We're building neural pathways every time we're connecting with people. The people that their neural pathways start to shut down, they are pretty much, they're not as interactive with other human beings or other things. Mm-hmm. So other human beings help us build neural pathways too, because we're all connected energetically. Isn't that amazing?
That it is.
So the mind is what the brain does. It's a habitual mind versus a subconscious mind. And we talked a little bit about discernment. We are the only species that has a frontal lobe. And what that means is we can observe our own thoughts. That's when we go, oh, I don't like that thought anymore. Just because mom and dad did it that way, and this is usually subconsciously, I don't like the way they did this or that, because that's where our programming comes from usually, is authority figures, family between 0 and 8. So that's where we learn about how we deal with money, emotions, how family structure works, all of that. But as we grow up, we can be more observant of our own thoughts, and we can decide, if we're conscious in the moment, if we want to keep that thought or not. And it's extremely important that we reevaluate our thoughts and our beliefs, because if you don't know if they're really yours, or you got them from somebody else and you just adopted that as yours. So you want to make sure your beliefs are your truth. That's the experience. And that's another way to build a new neural pathway, is getting in touch with, oh, I know why I believe this. I feel it in my body, my bones, my cells. This is my truth, as opposed to, yeah, I believe that because somebody else said it and it sounded really good, but do I have an experience with it? Does that make sense?
So Linda, I have a question. So when you say we're building new neural pathways, one of the things that you wanted to talk about today was what did your garden about how your mind works. So a lot of us are dealing with young children as grandparents and things like that. So how can we help our families in so I'm sorry, because we only have 15 more minutes, and I know this is this great topic.
It's a very good subject, and yes, but so my next bullet point here is thoughts are an extension of your immune system at the mental and emotional level. So what we've already said is you can help your children. This is definitely about your children, but it's also about you having to help others, including children, direct their thought patterns and may help them be conscious. And because first of all, we haven't been taught these things. How can you possibly teach a child something you don't know? So if your thoughts are an extension of your immune system, think about that. Think about how that is affecting your health and your well-being. So if you want to relate that to teaching a child, then you teach children how to manage their emotions. But first, it starts with us as an example of that. We cannot teach what we don't know. So I know I wasn't taught these things in school. I wasn't taught that I could create with my mind. I wasn't taught that I can heal my body with my own thoughts. Yet there's a lot of things out there that say we can, but we deny those things.
Mhm.
So your thoughts do affect your immune system. So if you have a cold or a child has a cold, guess what's going on emotionally? There, not only could it be caused by a virus, but there's confusion going on in that person's life, that child's life, your life, however, there's a bit of a confusion going on. So when you relate your thoughts to your mind, it's very important to understand your emotions going on in order to heal yourself or know what to do to get out of that. Your thoughts are key, and how you react or respond to them, whether it's consciously or unconsciously, matters. So does that make sense?
It's not clear.
Okay, so
I'm not sure I understand. So are you saying that what we say in our mind will affect our ability to heal, to self-heal?
yes.
So in other
Or
words, we should
to
have what we say.
heal, or to be ill too, to heal or make yourself sick.
So we can decide.
You have to be conscious in the moment about what is going on here.
Okay. So that is not contrary to what I believe. Okay.
Oh, good. Well, yeah, how could that be? You are the creator of these thoughts in here. Nobody else is in here thinking those thoughts. So we must be responsible for them to create what comes out of us. So a lot of people are out there trying to create and take what's outside of themselves and bring it in. And that's not how it happens. It starts here and it emanates outward. And then we magnetize those things to us naturally. Because it's just a law of nature that, what you attract is what you're resonating to. So your thoughts create your health or lack thereof.
Mm-hmm.
So, Linda, can I try to, let me ask a question. So the way that I was thinking about this is that your thoughts are what trigger emotions in your system, in your body.
Mm-hmm.
And so your thoughts are actually triggering a lot of the hormones and a lot of the, so like the relationship between your gut and your brain is so important because your thoughts and your gut is where a lot of those chemicals and hormones and things like that happen. So you can control your stress and and the cortisol levels in your system and things like that if you can choose to think differently, I think is the way I kind of look at it.
So there's a really great book out there called The Power of Now by Eric Tolle. And it's a pretty heady book, but the title says it all. It is the power of the moment. And when we get discerning about the thoughts we're having, like if we're saying in our mind all the time, I can't do that. I can't do that. It's difficult. I can't create that. Why is my business so, why is it doing this? Or, why am I not financially prosperous? Or why do I feel lack all the time? So, or we could be thinking, oh, my business is doing wonderfully. I attract all the right people to me. I make wonderful friends. I have colleagues that are, it's a difference of what we show, how our life shows up for us. So thoughts are everything. They affect our immune system. We did a live stream on laughing. Remember how important laughing is? We have the power to do so much. And it really all comes from love. Loving ourselves unconditionally. We're not taught that. We're not taught that, but we have to learn it as we grow older. And we have to teach children to have loving thoughts for themselves and the world. So it's something that we're having to learn. And there's no judgment about who's taught us what or anything. Because remember, our parents were parents of the Depression and survival. And our generations are the first ones to be able to say, we can live different. We have time to think different. We have time to learn to love ourselves and to teach our children to love themselves, to create the peace we want on this planet. But it starts here. It does not start out there trying to control or make somebody else think the way we want to. It starts with each and every one of us. And it starts with how we think. Any questions about that? You thought this was going to be kindergarten stuff. I know.
No, it just lines up with what I believe. I believe that, as a man thinketh, so is he. Because once you
Absolutely.
take a thought, then it enters your mouth. And once it enters your mouth, then it begins to, when you speak it out, it begins to create and draw to you what you think. And you can make things line up with your thoughts. And then your thoughts, your feet will follow your word.
When you were a kid, did you ever play with abracadabra? Because when we were kids, I think there was a cartoon or something on. It was open sesame and abracadabra. Well, abracadabra is Greek I think it's Greek for what you speak, you create. Again, the mind, you're exactly right, Terry, what we think and then what we express. But we don't really even have to say it for it to create. This is just the final, this is where, everything comes out. But what we speak, we create. And also what we think, we create.
Because it begins here when you take the thought.
Yes, absolutely.
And evidence that you've taken the thought is when you speak it out.
Oh boy, is it ever.
Okay? Yes. Because you shall have what you say.
Yes.
And so that's why we need to keep a guard over what we say.
Well, but remember not to discount your thoughts, because your thoughts are energy and they are creating.
And they are speaking to us.
Yes. And
internally.
The ability to change them. Guess what? You can change your mind, or you can stick with them and think, oh, nobody knows what I'm thinking. But it's an energetic thing that emanates outwards either way.
Mm-hmm.
So just because you think it's contained within this, it's not true. Because it will, even if you don't say it out loud, it can demonstrate in your health.
It will manifest in your body.
You got it.
So, because you feel and this is very common among women in particular, because we tend to suppress a lot of stuff.
Absolutely.
And we're busy and pulled on in so many ways. We don't even know we're under stress because our dysfunction is normal to us.
Yes, absolutely. And we're programmed as women to do that. We're not programmed to express our thoughts, because nobody really wants to hear what a woman says, right? We're just supposed to give until you're down. And then everybody goes, well, what's wrong? I don't know. I can't get up today. I don't know what's wrong. So we have to be responsible, able to respond to our own thoughts, needs, beliefs, and decide if they're what we want to keep or not, because they will manifest and demonstrate in one way or another. So we have to not think that these are insignificant. We have to pay attention to our stress and our desires in life. This is our life. If you just sit back and let everything go by, and if your body says, I really need rest, and then you end up sick, like the flu or a cold or something, you go, I don't know how I got this. It's because you left an opening energetically for the confusion and that virus to say, oh, you're an open vessel here. You get it. And I'm going to take you down because you're not listening to me, the body, because you need a rest, and I'll take you, you're going to have to get, lay down and rest one way or another. So yeah, so our thoughts, gosh, are very, very important.
All right. So as kindergartners,
Mm-hmm.
what should they be thinking on? You said we could, and when you talked about that, I think and you brought it up, Robin. I think I had a flashback to just Sunday, just picking out with my granddaughter who's 5
Mm-hmm.
what she will wear to church. Okay, she wants to go to church in her princess dress. I want her to go to church.
We're church clothes.
So we're having this discussion, and I'm wondering, am I superimposing some things on her that are going to affect her neural pathways for how she makes decisions?
Absolutely.
And the answer is
Absolutely.
yes.
Yes.
And the answer is yes. What do you want to be when you finish college, or what do you want to be when you grow up? You know what I mean? These are discussions that we're having.
Yes. So there's ways, I mean, we pick our battles too. If
Yeah.
that's gonna, if it's not gonna harm anybody or anything, it's just our own personal
Yes.
self-image.
Some
Let's
Sundays
just
she
do
does
it.
get to wear her princess dress.
Yeah.
I mean, it just depends on how much energy I have.
Yeah. Yeah. And how important it is. And then I don't know how disappointed she was when she couldn't.
It
And
wasn't that serious.
yeah, and sometimes you can just sit down and talk to them and say, if you can just wear this dress until church is over, then we'll go out and play in your princess dress and we'll have fun. But
Exactly.
the mind with children, we want to always reinforce that they are loved, they are supported, and that they are able to create in this life, because they are. If we snuff the idea out that they cannot create in their life and that we are the ones creating for them, they will grow up like us, not realizing that they have the ability, and that they won't have to wait till they're 30 or 40 to go, oh my gosh, I just, gave my power away to this, that, or the next thing. And I just wasted all those years. We have to
Mm.
treat children as if they already know, and they do know. But many of us adults put them in a position like we know better. And we have to let them flourish, flourish, flourish. Let them make their own decisions as long as they're safe. And let them create in their life, and let them know that they're supported in those ways of thinking, so that when they get to be of age, they already have practice at those things. And as opposed to us, where I know I was very protected, I learned everything the hard way. And right now I just kind of feel like I'm growing up now at way over 50 something. So we don't want life to be a waste. We want our children to create in life. We want them to create the world that we envision already, and they already know what that is: peace and happiness and joy, and doing things cooperatively. Because if you watch the kids, they already got the answers. So we just have to nurture those things in them.
Very good. Okay.
So there's a lot of the sayings that we've come across over the years, things like what you focus on grows, where your attention is, that's where the energy flows. Change your thoughts and you can change your life. I mean, there's all of these wonderful
Mm-hmm.
things that we are reminded about with Linda's discussion today. We're going to have to cut us short, though, Linda, because Terry and Francine have appointments at 8:30. So we're going to go ahead and close down the show. But do you have any last minute things that you'd like, maybe a tip for people that are just to raise their awareness and to stop those thinking thoughts? How would you give somebody just one little tip about how we could kind of control those negative thoughts that we have for ourselves?
I will just say, sometimes you do need someone's assistance, and that's where I come in. I remove the blocks and obstacles that have you stuck between these two minds, so that your minds work together. But you can practice these things by the tip I gave you earlier. You stop the thought, white light it, and then have a positive affirmation in the present that you can start working with. Once the blocks and obstacles are taken care of, those affirmations work extremely quickly. If you just try to do affirmations on their own, it's kind of a long time because you always have this voice back here going, I don't think so. But it is a place to start. And if anyone needs assistance and feels that they do need that assistance, I am here. You can contact me through discoveryourpower.net. And thank you so much, girls, for having me. You mean the world to me.
We're going to put your website up and your contact information into the chat so that people can find you after this is over. So that'd be great. And put it up on your own website. We'll snag it and we can populate your website with your Facebook Live.
Okay.
Thank
well,
you.
Thank you so much, Linda and Robin. We always enjoy Happy Healthy Habits with Robin and her guests. I want to remind everybody that tomorrow, Friday, is Tech Divas. We're going to Tech Diva Weekly. We're going to invite you over to talk tech in English, so don't be scared. How to use tech for your business. So tune in tomorrow. We'll be here for you. And remember, don't forget to go to the front of your own line. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay. Right.